Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome back to our series Journeying to Allah. Today's topic, inshallah, is a very, very dear one to my heart. Today's topic, inshallah, speaks to the two aspects of the human being. The one aspect we're all very familiar with is that of our external. But then there's another aspect, deeply hidden within us, the internal aspect. The external aspect deals with our actions, our ibadat, what we do outwardly, what manifests upon us outwardly that others can perceive. And that, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can perceive as well. But then we also have the internal reality. And the internal reality we can call the qalb, or the heart. Now, a lot of people spend a lot of time and a lot of energy developing and working on their outwards, developing and working on their actions. But very few actually do serious work to cultivate their hearts, to cultivate the inner reality of themselves. The Prophet ﷺ used to make a beautiful dua. He would say, "Oh Allah, make my inward reality more beautiful than my outward, but make my outward beautiful as well." This is a beautiful dua, and it shows us that what is more important that a man or woman cultivate in their life is the state of their heart, and that is primary to the secondary thing that we should busy ourselves with, which is cultivating our actions. Working on our hearts and softening our hearts to get to a point where we begin to truly love. See, we're no longer pretending. Where we begin to truly love what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves is the goal. It was the goal of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which he achieved. And it is our goal, which we truly have to work hard, inshallah, to get to a place where we can experience that sort of sweetness. Because when you love what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves, your life will be enriched to a degree unknowable to you if you have not yet arrived at that station. So we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to work on our hearts so that we can get to a place where we are attracted to and inclined to only to that which is beautiful, only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam reminds us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He looks at our inward states and then the actions that manifest from an inward state that is sound. He does not look at the way we look or how we've been adorned physically, but rather the states of our hearts and the actions that issue from that. Now, the reason why the Prophet ﷺ begins with the heart, the scholars tell us, is because that's where the source of the action emerges from. If the heart is sound, the act will be sound. But if the heart is not sound, the act will not be sound. Even if it appears to be beautiful, it will be bereft of the thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. If we do not strive to perfect and work on our inwards, our outwards will always be found needing with Allah. Imagine for a moment a beautiful house. It looks beautiful, got the white picket fence, maybe a pup barking outside behind the fence, beautiful windows, beautiful scaffolding, grass nicely trimmed. But then you open the door and you walk in and it's nasty, deplorable, messy, gross. Such is the state of the human being who pretends as though the inwards are in line with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, but are truly not. And so if you are one that is inclined to a life of activism, if you are one that is inclined to a life of community service, if you are one that is inclined to any sort of good, perhaps spiritual support of some kind, then these initiatives, then these efforts will go in vain if you do not cultivate within your heart soundness, so that the activities and the efforts that manifest upon our outwardly realities, our outward aspects, are infused with light from Allah, because the inward aspect has been worked on. There are many of those, unfortunately, whose inwards are empty, but whose outwards appear as though, mashallah, they're beautiful. The Prophet ﷺ, he warned us about such people. And the Khawarij are an example. These were a group of people, and they appear in every epoch, they appear, these people, who outwardly, mashallah, tabarakallah, the Prophet said ﷺ about them that you would belittle your own prayer if you saw them pray, because everything is perfect. The beard, mashallah, the thobe, mashallah, their perfect actions during their prayer, the perfect stiff and rigid movements during prayer. You would say to yourself, mashallah, this person is incredible, and belittle your own prayer. But he warned about these people, the Khawarij. He warned that these people will leave their religion faster than the arrow leaves a bow. Why? Because their inward reality was a poor one. They never sought to take care and to cultivate their inward states. They never sought to take care and cultivate their hearts, which is what is most important to Allah. So what manifested upon them may have appeared to many as though it was beautiful, but it was not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the realities of these things. And this is a very dangerous adoption of behaviors. The reason why is because an overemphasis on the outward while neglecting the inward is ultimately a sign of nifaq. It's a sign of hypocrisy. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from this hypocrisy. Why is it a sign of hypocrisy? Because as most all of us know, outwardly actions are seen by people, while the inward state of the human being is perceived only by Allah Azza wa Jal. So if you want to bypass the thing that only Allah can see and work on the things that everybody else can see, then without a doubt, your priorities have fallen short. You have prioritized human beings over your Lord Azza wa Jal. In closing, I want to remind all of us of a famous hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, in which he said, in the human body there is a lump of flesh. If this lump of flesh is sound, all of the human being will be sound. And that lump is the heart. And ﷺ, he doesn't speak from his own volition. Perhaps there were secrets there that allude to the actual physical heart as well. But our teachers instruct us that what he's talking about here, more specifically, is the spiritual heart. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the tawfiq to rid our hearts of lowly qualities, to adorn our hearts with beautiful ones, so that our external actions may be perfected. Until next time, inshallah, this is your brother Hicham with Journeying to Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Hey guys, if you liked what you saw, please subscribe to our channel. And also, please donate generously to Mass DC to help us continue to bring quality programming, quality virtual programming to all of your homes. Jazakallahu khair.